And what a game that was. The New York Knicks just came out victorious up against the San Antonio Spurs, the final score being 117 to 114. The New York Knicks don't make it easy, but they won. A win is a win. Wins are not easy to come by in this league, but the Spurs are also one of the worst teams in basketball, but they're also a competitive team, but they're the second worst team in the Western Conference, a little ahead of the Houston Rockets currently in the Western Conference standing. So the New York Knicks are 3 games over 500. We are 21 and 18. We have now won 3 games in a row. Hopefully we keep on rolling when it comes to winning streak. But we're really going to get to see this team tested coming up when we play the Toronto Raptors because we have not won in Toronto since 2015. And Siakam absolutely killed us, 50 points or over 50 points, just absolutely dominated us. Like, we're going to need RJ back for that game. I'm not sure if RJ is going to play, but Jalen Brunson's back. Obviously, he's played the last couple games. We got embarrassed in San Antonio the last time we played the Spurs with no RJ Barrett, no Jalen Brunson. You could say miscommunications when it came to rotations, late on closeouts. Like the offense, we were able to score points, but the defense was just absolutely humiliating. And when you take a look at this game, there's tons of ups and downs. There's things you love, and then there's things that you don't love. And we got off to a very good start in this game. We were winning this game 11 too early. We absolutely dominated the first quarter. There wasn't tons of scoring production from the San Antonio Spurs. Keldon Johnson wasn't popping off yet. Jeremy Sohan's not known as an offensive player. He does the gritty little things out there on the floor, such as positioning himself well for rebounds, having good angles, good defensively. But he really struggled defensively in this game as straight up, like right off the bat, Jalen Brunson took Jeremy Sohan's confidence in this game. I felt like he really took the rookie to school. Jalen Brunson, 13 points in that first quarter, had some buckets on Jeremy Sohan and some switches, or actually that was one of his assignments to defend Jalen Brunson. He took him to school right off the dribble, pull up mid-range jumpers. He's one of the most underrated bags in the league, in my opinion. Jalen Brunson, he played a very good game. There was times, though, I thought he should have taken better angles defensively or been more disciplined, especially when there were some drives when the Spurs were getting momentum, when Trey Jones was able to blow past Jalen Brunson, and they have similar physical profiles that I'm like, you could be better defensively in that moment. But he had a career high when it came to regular season because obviously he had over 40 points in the playoffs, but he had 38 points this game. At the top of my head, I believe he had 7 rebounds, 6 or 7 assists. We're going to be going over the box scores, but Jalen Brunson was able to score in just a bunch of different ways, getting to the basket, knocking down threes from the outside, mid-range territory, was able to get to the free throw line. Julius Randle, he didn't have an efficient game, but he played hard. His heart has been the most impressive thing when it's come to us playing solid basketball the last 3 games, or during Randle's stretch in general, or the past month. The hustle, the body language, just how much he wants it is clearly on display. Put back dunk in the first quarter, and you could say it was kind of a miscommunication on a pass, maybe called for the ball in a wrong moment, wasn't really in the right spot or didn't have good awareness. The New York Knicks turn over the basketball, the Spurs come up with a steal, but Julius Randle has a very impressive chase down block, which is huge, big time. It just speaks volume how much he wants it. Him having us, giving us second chance opportunity with that putback dunk. Isaiah Hartenstein had a putback dunk as well. And there's a thing that we definitely need to work on, or a couple things. We need more ball movement. Yes, Brunson got buckets in one-on-one situations, but we can't consistently count on one-on-one basketball to help us out throughout all games. So I think we have to move the ball more, less two-man game, and give Grimes more touches within the offense. And despite Brunson having a very good game scoring the ball, made some nice reads out there, rebounded the ball well, had some gritty moments, clutch buckets down the stretch, free throws for this entire team. It just has to be in their mind right now. There has to be a huge obstacle when it comes to their mind right now when it comes to free throws. This team cannot make free throws. Randle, free throws. Oh my gosh. Can he make free throws? Brunson, free throws. He was pissed off. You heard him say, the F word. He was really pissed off when he missed some free throws in this game. Grimes missed a free throw. Even Quickly was known as a very good free throw shooter. Yes, he didn't really shoot free throws in this game, but games before that, he's been missing some uncharacteristic missing free throws. I'm like, wow, quickly rarely misses free throws. I'm sorry, volume went off of my laptop. They're very unprofessional. But at the end of the day, those are free points. Those are going to haunt you at the end of games. And I'm wondering, like, maybe we could have a little more of a cushion if we made our free throws in this moment. So I really like the way we're playing the first quarter. Randall's taking advantages of mismatches. He's driving downhill. I liked his approach to this game, drawing fouls, made some nice passes out there on the floor. He's rebounding at a very high level. I like that physical Randall, that he works downhill more, less than settling for fadeaway jumpers, mid-range jumpers, shots from the outside. So we're up 10 after that first quarter, but we also have to keep in mind the only one that was kind of keeping them in that game. Yes, we're in control after that first quarter, up 10 points. Josh Richardson, we didn't really have any answer for him coming off the bench when he was out there. He was able to get into the teeth of the defense. He was able to make pull-up mid-range jumpers, showed off his athleticism at times. He's someone that does the dirty work. Sometimes gives his team second chance opportunities, gives them that high energy type of play out there on the floor. He's a veteran in this league with the Miami Heat, with the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, he's a solid basketball player. When I think of solid basketball players, he definitely comes to mind. That he could be a contributor to a pretty good team out there in the league. But the second quarter, for the portion of it, was a total mess offensively and some ups and downs defensively, because you could say our defense kind of kept us in that second quarter. So we're up 10 entering that second quarter, but the second unit offensively is just a mess. So Obi Toppin and Derrick Rose were available for this game, but Derrick Rose didn't play and Obi Toppin didn't play because he hasn't really fully participated in 5-on-5 practice, so I can understand why he didn't play. But we desperately need another cutter. We desperately need another player with feel that can make solid reads out there, such as an Obi Toppin. He's not a crazy good playmaker, but he has solid vision. He has solid feel out there on the floor. Shooting 35% from three. It did dip from the way he was shooting it at the very beginning before he got hurt. Like, he's been out a month now. Like, I'm really missing Obi for sure when it comes to his athleticism, someone that's leaking out and constantly moving, but he at least brings us a little potential three-point shooting. McBride knocked down a three. He plays tough defense, but we can't count on him when it comes to consistent offense. Sims, I thought he rebounded the ball very well when he was out there. He had a huge block when it came to the fourth quarter, and also a key play as well, which resulted in a foul, though, in the fourth quarter. I thought it was a clean block. He's going to hustle. He's going to set hard screens. He's going to roll to the basket, but we need more offensively out of him. Hartenstein gave us some hustle plays, but we just simply don't have consistent contribution when it comes to offense off the bench, and the Spurs bench killed us offensively. Defensively, you got to give them credit. Just here's a stat right here for you guys. So when it came to that second quarter, at one point when there's 2:18 remaining in the second quarter, we were 4 of 19 from the field. That could do with not really having the personnel offensively to produce, but also lack of ball movement. I thought it got stagnant as well, the offense, to be completely honest with you guys, when it came to the second unit. But you got to give credit to Spurs. Zach Collins was doing a good job protecting the rim, not allowing easy dribble penetration. And another key thing, we were allowing tons of dribble penetration because Mitchell Robinson, as soon as he checked into the second quarter, because he was in foul trouble in that first quarter, 2 fouls, never got into a rhythm in this game when it came to the lob game or anything like that, or just really, he never really got into a flow in this basketball game on either side of the ball of catching lobs, setting screens, just defensively at all. As soon as he checked in the game in the second quarter, 3 fouls. So he was pretty undisciplined in this game, but Zach Collins was a double-digit scorer in this game. He had 16 points. He's not known as a scorer. He's known as a rim protector, someone that can occasionally pop outside of the perimeter, but we had fits with him and the interior. So he's someone that did kill us when it came to off the bench. Like, their bench just killed our bench. Doug McDermott, something we need to work on defensively. We allow too many backdoor cuts. Lately, we've allowed guys cutting backdoor, and Doug McDermott's someone that's really good when it comes to backdoor cuts. Coming off of screens, there was a couple nice defensive possessions, so that quickly did a good job chasing Doug McDermott when it came to those screens, but he killed us in this game as well. Like I mentioned, Josh Richardson, and then Kellen Johnson started to get some things going as well. Like when it came to dribble penetration, drawing fouls, and those rainbow threes at times. He had a big one in that fourth quarter for sure. But the Spurs end up getting a 2-point lead because, yes, the defense was okay, but the offense was just so bad. But the Knicks did go on a very good run to end that second quarter, which we ended up having a 62-55 lead at halftime. That the offense starts clicking again. Brunson knocks down a nice mid-range jumper, ends up knocking down a floater as well. Randall uses that physicality to get to the basket. So the defense and the offense are playing at a pretty solid level. Yes, there still has to be some consistency offensively, but we actually end that second quarter on a 9-0 run, which is really nice. But that Spurs overall second unit was absolutely killing us. When you take a look at the Spurs second unit. When you look at the box score, Stanley, so you had Zach Collins in 21 minutes that had 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He had 16 points. He was 6 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the outside. Did miss a big free throw in this game, or kind of a pivotal. Not like one of the biggest pivotal missed free throws, but he did miss a free throw in this game. Doug McDermott, 23 minutes, 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 15 points. And there was moments I'm like, oh, we might run away with this game. But then Doug McDermott responds. Like, these Spurs, like, were really resilient. Everyone's going to think tanking. But you can't tell NBA players to tank. Like, this is their job at the end of the day. They're playing for contracts. They're playing for food on the table, clothes on their backs, a roof over your head. Like, these players are going to try to win no matter what. Stanley Johnson, 14 minutes, but he was 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Now known as an offensive player, but 8 points in 14 minutes. Pretty impressive. Josh Richardson in 29 minutes. He was 9 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 20 points. He just had an easygoing flow. He was just in the flow of the game. As soon as he checked in the game, he was just ready. But we end up having a 62-55 lead at halftime. Brunson comes in. He scores offensively. He just had an amazing game. 13 points in the first quarter, 18 points in that first half. Was distributing the ball. He was rebounding the ball at a very high level for a guard as well. I love the overall physicality. Grimes, he didn't have one of the craziest games statistical wise. Like, Grimes had 14 points, but I love the overall cutting. I love the vision by Grimes. He's just so good at dribble penetrating and dumping it off or making the extra pass. It's contagious within the offense, but there's still times that I'm like, it's not as contagious as it has to be. Like, Grimes is doing his part, but everyone else needs to do their part when it comes to consistently moving the ball as well. So that third quarter, I thought we were really starting to take this game personal. So you have Randall, who's playing very good interior defense. He's really fighting throughout this game. He's playing extremely hard. Maybe he's not having the most efficient game in the world, but you're seeing an aggressive working downhill, someone who's competing defensively. Jeremy Sohan had 0 points in this game, not known as an offensive player, but you could tell he looked like a rookie out there. We really got in this rookie's head. Didn't really let him get much confidence out there on the floor when it came to dribble penetration, making sometimes really nice reads out there on the floor. He wasn't able to execute and make those plays. So you have Randall, who's playing good defense. You have Grimes, who hits a 3 in transition. Brunson hits a timely 3 when the shot clock's winding down. Brunson obviously was amazing scoring the basketball. He's playing at a very high level. One of my favorite plays of the game that I think we constantly have to do, and it just shows the contagious offensive flow when it comes to court vision or the extra pass when Grimes is out there on the floor. When Brunson found Grimes cutting, when it came kind of flashing in the middle, or he was just cutting around mid-range territory. Brunson made a very nice read to Grimes. Then he made the extra pass, finding Mitchell Robinson in the inside for a dunk. Just things like that, just making the extra pass. Making sure, in my opinion, when I watch the offense, everyone should touch the ball at least once on a possession. Unless someone's obviously on fire, because we don't have a superstar that, yes, Brunson's a one-on-one player, but there's certain teams and certain personnel that it's we can't always count on to go one-on-one in certain situations, that we do need to play team basketball and max out the potential of this team as much as possible so everyone gets theirs. When the Knicks were up 9 or 10 points or 8 points, when it looked like the Knicks were building some momentum, the free throws haunted us though. We just couldn't hit free throws. Brunson was extremely frustrated with them. Randall was extremely frustrated. The free throws really haunted us, but on top of that was the bench production from the San Antonio Spurs. In the pivotal moments, Zach Collins got buckets. Josh Richardson got buckets. But then on top of that, Keldon Johnson had a very good second half. He ended up finishing with over 20 points in this game. His 3-point shots weren't falling early on, but that eventually started knocking down those rainbow threes. We started to foul more as well. Mitchell Robinson couldn't stay out of his own way at all. Trey Jones, we were allowing dribble penetration, and we really missed Mitchell Robinson. We did, because I like Sims, but from a discipline standpoint, knowing where to be at times, he has work to do. Yes, he had some nice blocks, but then on top of it, sometimes altering a shot is just as important. Being in the right spot is more important than the home run play. That's not taking anything away from Jericho Sims, but then on top of that, also you have Isaiah Hartenstein. That's not the quickest laterally at all. Trey Jones is a pretty quick player out there on the floor. So we allowed dribble penetration when it came to him. We allowed dribble penetration when it came to Keldon Johnson as well. And on top of that, making shots. And he really kept them in this game. Josh Richardson continued to keep them in this game. They played an overall good team of basketball when it came to offense. Defensively, I thought they needed some work, but we just constantly got beat backdoor. Josh Richardson had a nice cut backdoor as well for a dunk in a big time moment in this game. But Randall did get some key buckets. I believe he had like 4 straight field goals, or had a few good field goals in a row. And then on top of that, he did hit a field goal to beat the buzzer, which I believe is like the first time this season. It's really rare when that does happen. When he hits a jumper to beat the buzzer, it was a step back in mid-range territory. So he did give us a little bit of a run. We were up 94-89 entering that fourth quarter. And that fourth quarter was really something because Brunson would get a bucket quickly. He would continue to respond with nice pull-up. Like, he had a couple nice pull-up mid-range jumpers, which I like. Like, watching him from his rookie year to now is light and day when it comes to shot selection, expanding his game. He used to be strictly floaters and like a three-point shot. Now he is a mid-range 3, and he's able to get to that floater and even drive stronger to the basket, which I love. It means that he's building his overall game and he's truly working on it. And you see his defense is improving, so I love seeing the growth from Emmanuel quickly. But the Spurs simply kept on responding. And then what was definitely huge is that we put the Spurs in the penalty with like 5:27, I believe, in that fourth quarter. Keldon Johnson hits a huge 3 to tie this game up, but it looked like a disaster that Brunson was going to choke. And it's just like, I swear, if this team blows another lead and we can't execute down the stretch, this is going to be very frustrating. It's going to be tough for us to sleep at night again because Brunson misses an easy layup around the basket. And then a couple possessions later, might have been the next possession or a couple possessions later, Brunson falls to the floor, turns the ball over. And then Keldon Johnson or someone got fouled because they're the bonus. They knock down 2 free throws. They actually end up getting the lead. But then Grimes responds with a huge 3 in the corner, which I loved. Quentin Grimes, yes, he only had 14 points, but he had some pivotal, like, that was a huge shot. Like, when he had 11 points, and then I believe he had 14 points. To get him that 14th point was a huge 3-pointer when the Spurs were up in a big-time pivotal moment, maybe with like 3 minutes left. And Randall didn't execute at a high level offensively down the stretch. He was flat on a jumper, and he got tied up for a jump ball. But after that Grimes 3, a lot of people aren't going to probably talk about it, but Julius Randle had very good hands on defense, which forced a very tough offensive possession for the San Antonio Spurs. And then after that, it was pretty much the Jalen Brunson show for a few possessions in a row, hitting some big-time mid-range jumpers. And you thought this game was over. You thought Jalen Brunson has taken over this game. He has 38 points, the most he's had in a regular season game in his career. After Jalen Brunson gets some big buckets, I believe we're up 116 to 112. It's like, don't foul, just be smart. And Julius Randle ends up fouling Keldon Johnson in a very big moment. Just have a good defensive possession, but no, Julius Randle fouls Keldon Johnson. He knocks down both free throws, so now they're only down 116 to 114. And the disaster happens. A terrible offensive possession. Jalen Brunson has the ball, which I'm okay with. Jalen Brunson's been absolutely killing it. But it just seems like we're so unlucky down the stretch. He bobbles the ball, ends up in Randall's hands. I believe he airballs a jumper that's really contested. It's a shot clock violation. So now the San Antonio Spurs have the ball. It's 116-114. They're down. We lead. 5.7 seconds left. But I'm not even going to say we forced a 5-second violation. You could say we did actually. We had some good ball denials, but it was a rookie mistake by Jeremy Sohan inbounding the basketball. Didn't even recognize. Like, he was just taking his time. No one was open. He didn't bother to call a timeout. It was a 5-second violation that we went on to force, which was the huge pivotal moment of this game. So then they go on to foul Evan Fournier. He makes the free throw. I'm like, this dude's a pretty good free throw shooter. I understand that he hasn't been playing a lot this game, but I believe in him to knock them down. Makes the first one, but misses the second one. So now 117-114, 3.5 seconds left. And I love this play by the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks, we knew they were going to give it to Keldon Johnson. He's been absolutely killing it down the stretch in big-time moments, hitting a huge 3, being able to dribble penetrate, get to the basket. They inbounded to Keldon Johnson. Maybe he's going to it wasn't going to be an easy shot anyway. It was way beyond the arc. They're down 3 points. But Quentin Grimes has an extremely good closeout and then forces Keldon Johnson into, it would have been pretty much an up and down, or he wouldn't have he didn't get the shot off anyway, but it probably would have been an up and down. So it was a very good closeout by Quentin Grimes for him to not even get a clean shot off at all. So the New York Knicks win. Jalen Brunson 38 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and you take a look at the overall box score for the New York Knicks. Julius Randle, 25 points on 9 to 26 shooting. He did struggle from beyond the arc, 1 of 8. Needs to knock down those free throws. He was 6 of 11 from the free throw line, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks. He was a beast defensively in this game. You have Mitchell Robinson, who was in foul trouble. He only played 13 minutes. He was 2 of 3 from the field, 4 points, 5 rebounds. Yeah, not much to talk about there. 5 fouls. Jalen Brunson in 40 minutes. He was extremely efficient, 17 of 27 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. He was 1 of 3 from the free throw line, though. So he could add 40. He had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 38 points, 4 turnovers, though. That was pretty uncharacteristic of him. Emmanuel quickly in 46 minutes hit some big mid-range jumpers. Like, he hit some timely shots in this game in that fourth quarter. 15 points, 6 of 13 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. Quentin Grimes, 5 of 8 from the field, a very steady game. In 37 minutes, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Just got to knock down. Like, he's a better shooter than that. Like, you got to make your free throws, man. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 14 points. And you take a look at the bench, Isaiah Hartenstein, 19 minutes, 2 of 6 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, which he airballed, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 8 points. Jericho Sims in 22 minutes, he was 2 of 4 from the field, he had 4 points, 7 rebounds. I thought he was very good on the boards. 2 blocks, he had 1 very nice block down the stretch in this game. Evan Fournier, 11 minutes, 1 of 5 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 6 points. Miles McBride, 10 minutes, 1 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, and 3 points. New York Knicks come out victorious. We play the Raptors next. Haven't won in Toronto since 2015. Gonna be a tough game. Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.